know somebody who had a very short marriage, and I'm talking
we do.
Short.
I'm talking this person that we know, who shall remain nameless, started planning their divorce like before the wedding.
Yes.
Literally knew that they were getting married, had paid the caterers, had booked the band, everybody had bought their tickets, and was transferring property into their parents' name.
Yep.
Their condo and everything else in their parents' name, because they knew that they were going to get divorced as quickly as possible.
Which begs the question, why go ahead with the wedding?
And this is the thing. It is the eternal question. And yet I can tell you, I have known many a couple.
Yeah.
Many couple who you could see the thoughts on their face walking down the aisle.
Right.
Like, pro and con in it.
Yes.
Down the aisle, down the aisle. Well, we lose the deposit on the catering, but we could just have a party. But you know what? My mother really likes this. You see it happening. It's amazing to me.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. No one dreams about getting married and getting divorced right away, except for this person. But it does happen. Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries lasted 72 days.
I lost money on that because it was 71 days longer than I thought.
I know, we all lost to that pool, okay? Carmen Electra and Dennis Rodman had 9 days of wedded bliss, but those were Carmen Electra, Dennis Rodman days. Yes.
And those are like days on Jupiter. They're like 300 years
long.
Like they really are. They're super long days. So that was really successful.
And it melts inside that world like a Dali painting. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a black hole through time.
Yeah.
Like that was a really long wet marriage.
That's a successful marriage as
That's
far
what
as
I'm
I'm
saying.
concerned.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, and Britney Spears and Jason Alexander lasted a full 55 hours.
I didn't even know his name that long.
No, you did not.
I'm surprised she stayed married that long. So it's not just celebrities who have this problem or who this happens to. Lauren Welbank recently wrote an article about how she got divorced after a few months, just a few months after saying I do. We have Lauren on the phone with us. Hi, Lauren. Welcome to Me Time. Thank you for being here.
Ladies. Thank you for having me.
Well, Lauren, just tell us what happened.
Girl, what happened?
Well, you know, I got married and then very quickly I got divorced. It wasn't ideal and it wasn't the dream. I definitely wasn't planning it ahead of time. I did think at one point that he would be the man that I spent the rest of my life with, but I just was wrong.
When did you feel that? Were you first? Like, were you at the ceremony, the next day after the ceremony?
I would say probably a little while after we got home from our honeymoon.
Right.
Like, there was a nagging suspicion in the back of my mind that, you know, something was off, and the entire time we were planning our wedding, I just kept blaming it on the wedding stress. Like, planning a wedding is super stressful.
Right.
And so I just assumed that had kind of, like, eked into the rest of our lives, and that's why we were constantly bickering and fighting and why we just didn't seem to get along anymore. Everything would get better after the wedding.
Right.
And after the wedding, it didn't get better, and I kept waiting for that, like, aha moment where, oh, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. We're back to where we're supposed to be. Everything's good.
Right.
And that moment just never came.
Well, thank you, Lauren,
for sharing that with us.
You know what? Because I know there are people going through this right now, okay?
I know, lots of people, and that's why we did this for you, okay?
Yes.
All this talk about couples that break up quickly got us thinking about all of you, so we wanted to have somebody here who knows what they're talking about.
Yes. Welcome, Delise Diaz. Thank you so much for being here, Delise.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my goodness. What do you do if you find yourself, like what Lauren said, I got married and it isn't getting better?
Well, how about
stress?
Right. And how about we think about before you get married? Yeah. What she said on the phone is that I thought it would change. Let me tell you, people, anytime you think you're going into something to change someone else, oh my gosh, that is a setup for a disaster.
Oh my
It really
goodness.
is, because what you see is what you get times 100. So if you don't, you can't bear with what you're seeing and what you're getting in the relationship before you get married, don't proceed and don't go forward with it.
I do have to ask, the reality is that there is a little bit of like stress around, like a little bit before the wedding and a little bit maybe, I don't even think, but before the wedding, most people have some type of stress on the relationship before they get married. But when should a person have an expectation that we should have worked through this?
Well, how do you work through problems?
Go ahead, girl.
that's one of the main things. How do you work through a problem? If you can't handle how each other deals with and responds to problems, then that's a big red flag right there. It's really important that you're able to work together, communicate. Communication is number one on the list of what you need to have really locked and loaded before you get married.
And what do you think about people who, like, walking down the aisle and knowing it? Like, I'm sure you've talked to people like this. Like, how often do you think that happens?
Yes.
You know how often? At least 50% of the time. And you know why? Because the divorce rate is 50%.
Right.
And so you usually know before going into a situation. You always know.
You know.
But here's the thing. People don't listen to themselves.
Right.
They don't know who they are, what they want. And so they kind of ignore that nagging intuition. And I am a big advocate of listen to your intuition.
How late is it is it ever too late to shut it down and just be like, this ain't, we shouldn't do this?
I think when you're up at when they go, do you take it? You can be like, no!
No, I don't take.
No, please, I'm giving back. I'm giving back.
I don't take. No. Everybody have a drink. Have a drink.
Right. If they had the courage to do that at the altar, they would have done it prior. And really, sadly, just before you get married, people, you really need to know who you are, what you want. And when you're clear about that, you'll draw somebody into your life who can reciprocate
So
that.
look.
Thank you so much, Jalecia. Thank you for being here. As always, we love you for making it clear.
Yes, we really appreciate it.
Ooh, know yourself.
Know thyself. I want to get a tattoo of it. You won't let me do it.
No, because you need to get left and right straight first.
Me Time with Frangela.